or pain that goes up and down the sides of your legs. Okay, so that's IT band pain. So what we're going to do here is we're going to roll one of the most important muscles for the IT band, and that's the TFL. And you can do this with a ball, you can do it with a roller, it doesn't matter. I'm sure I've told the story that when I travel, I'm like the guy that will be like walking around, like picking things up in the hotel and like collecting rocks out in the parking lot. And everyone's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm going to roll on this stuff. And I'll like steal a tin can and use that. And like, it doesn't have to be a perfect piece of equipment, particularly when it's the small areas like what we're about to do. You just need something rigid. So find the bony protrusion on the front of your hip. This is the ASIS. And then take your two fingers, place that main knuckle on the ASIS, and then where your two fingers end, that's where you're going to roll. That's called the TFL. It is known as the tensor fascia lata. It's easy to remember because it tenses a lot of fascia. I made that one up myself. All right, so what you're going to do is find that bone and then roll down about the space of the roller and then just rock there. And I'm using this fully. I'm at about a 45-degree angle. I've got the one knee down and I'm just rolling that out. This is notoriously tight on Western ears. Notoriously tight on Western ears. If you are the kind of person that has an easy time doing what they call a primal squat or an eastern squat, and then all of a sudden you find yourself sitting a lot, this will tighten up. Like, it's crazy how fast it affects. Now, primal squat is different than like an AG squat or an ass squat, in that when I'm in a primal squat, my back is allowed to round. In fact, my head tips forward like this so that I kind of maintain a flat back position. Most Westerners have a very right. That's not a common position for we white people in the West. And yes, half the world goes to the bathroom like that. So probably more than that. I'm going to ask them. There's a lot of continents. I don't know when, fun fact, I don't know when Westerners started sitting so much, like the way we sit. I don't know when that happened. Oh, no. Chairs and thrones have been around for a long time. I don't know why in the West we embrace it. I don't know why. I assume it had something to do with the floor. But the reason I bring this up is like we have applied it to everything. Like everything is a seat. And I don't understand why. Switch sides. But it's a thing we do. That's one thing I've never looked up. When was the first chair found? Like, when does that date back to? I don't.
Like to your point, in Japan, they don't use as many chairs as we do here. So like,
It's that whole.
Well, not only that, they're so used to not using chairs that their homes have tatami mats, which are comfortable to crawl around with. To be honest, a tatami mat is remarkably comfortable. What's funny too is ancient people used to weave. They would weave like thicket mats, like grass mats, and then everybody would sleep in a pile on the mat. And if there was ever an infestation, they would just light it on fire. So like if people got lice or there were ticks or something, and all of a sudden the place was no good, the way they got rid of the mat was they just crushed it.
Then how they get rid of the lice?
They burned it.
No, they didn't burn themselves.
No. I'm saying I'm just using that as I don't know specifically. But the only reason that they know this is because they would uncover layers of this grass and soot in these dwellings that they would find. It also goes back to that whole people used to sleep in a pile thing. It's like, oh, Humans were different. Than we are. That's why we get cats. That's true. All right, now we're going to do obliques. So we're going to do back oblique and front oblique, which, by the way, is the same muscle. We're just doing two different aspects of it. But to be fair, the back side, when we do the back side, we're veering more toward what is known as the, so you have the surface oblique. Basically, you have an anterior and a posterior oblique. Have I talked about this? And they cross each other. So the anterior oblique is the surface oblique. It attaches at the ilium, and it comes up and attaches to each rib head, like this, in this direction. And then the posterior oblique attaches to the ilium, and then goes back and attaches to the floating ribs on the back side. And it allows me, when I turn one way, the posterior engages and the anterior engages on crosswise. And then the same thing happens the other way. Is there a child being murdered outside? So when I do this, I'm using the deeper and surface oblique in cross action, which by the way is like with the bulk. So what we're going to do, that's why I like to do them separate. So we're going to lay that on the ground. We're going to straighten the bottom leg. We're going to place the roller between the hip and the rib cage, and we're going to lean back at 45 degrees.